Okay guys, you all remember what we did in class on Friday. If you weren't there, we did covariance calculation, standard deviation, we calculated a correlation, and an R squared for a data set. Data set was found through this link. It's on Google Doc. You can see it over here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do the same calculations we did yesterday in Excel, and we're going to do them in R. So the first trick is to get the data set into R. Handy little thing that we talked about on Friday is to take it from your clipboard. So you highlight the data that you want, you copy it, and you go over to R where you have this code already. I'm calling it my data. You guys can call it whatever you want, but the code is you read .table from your clipboard. That's the file equals clipboard part right here. Header equals true will keep your title, your column names, and you'll separate them by a tab. So then we're going to run this line right here, and it's going to give us data. So we have our table from Excel. Now it's in R. Now we can play with it. So first we want to calculate the covariance. So the function is, you're going to do COV. Well, that's why actually I'm calling it COV so that I can mess with it later, but the function is also called COV. You start a parentheses. Now, since we're using two different columns of data, you're going to go my data, because this is the data set that you're taking it from, or whatever you choose to call it. You're going to put the $, which signifies that you are selecting a column, and then you're going to put X. So this is going to be your first thing that you're measuring. You're going to take the values from column X in my data, and you're going to do the same thing for column Y. So now we're measuring the covariance between the values in column X and column Y. So then we're going to run this line, and over here you see we have a covariance of 838.688 continuing. And if we go over here, I have the answers on another title. We see that that is correct. So next we want to do the standard deviation of X. I'm calling it SDX, and the function is just SD of my data column X, and this part over here is only if we had NA values or values that didn't work. But since we don't, we can say that we don't need to remove any false values. That's what NA.RN means. So we run this line. Oops, I screwed that up. Run the whole line, and you see we get a standard deviation of X of 27.9, which we see over here is the same. And we go over here to Y, same thing, just switch X for Y, run it, get a 30.4, which is exactly what we had. Over here, I'm going to call my correlation R, and we have core, which is the function, and we did what we did back with the covariance. You have my data, $X, my data, $Y, and you should be able to run it, and you get a correlation of 0.987. And last bit is to get your R squared value. I'm just calling it R2. All I did was take my R value, my correlation, and square it. Simple as that. Run that. You get an R squared value of 0.975, and that's it. We're done. Took us 20 to 30 minutes in class. Take you 5 minutes to do all of this tops. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks.